Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most special edition of the Money Mondays, where we have absolutely no guests whatsoever. It is just me and the co-host, the real Tarzann here. The reason I'm so hyped up is 1 hour ago, a brand new social media platform called Threads just came out. And you've got a guy that gets 200 million views a month across social media here. So he's just...
I don't know why. I'm just hyped.
I'm so hyped. So here's the thing. Over the last decade, every time someone's like, there's a new social media app, I say the same thing. Nobody cares. They have no chance. Do you know why? Because any of the top 6 major platforms are either going to shut them down or acquire them. The only one that had any chance was called Musical.ly. And what that happened, they switched over to TikTok, and bada bing, that was it. They also had billions of dollars behind them. That was the only one that broke through. Think about it. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of social media platforms, and you can't name any of them except for Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat. That's about it, right? And there was one called Twitter, but I don't know. They're about to have a big competitor with Threads. All right, guys. So typically, we go over 3 topics: how to make money, how to invest money, how to give it away to charity. But today, you get a special edition episode where me and the real Tarzann are going to walk through our business lives. We're going to talk about why we built a 26-acre animal sanctuary called the WYLD Jungle. I'm going to talk about my masterminds, my investments, acai bowl stores, sports card stores, and everything between that we can fit into 40 minutes for you. My heart's beating. I'm ready.
I'm ready to roll.
I also want to look at my phone because I just got 700 followers on Threads in the last few minutes. I'm like, oh, let's go. This is so much fun. All right, guys. I'm going to let Tarzann explain to you real quick the main concept of why he moved all the way from Miami, where he already had a ranch, all the way out here to Temecula, California to build this 26-acre WYLD Jungle.
So yeah, man, I mean, we've been talking for years, you know, and like I told you before, I ain't leaving Miami.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving.
The show goes on.
The show goes on. You know, I was just so happy and so comfortable there. You know, half of me wanted to stay because I was comfortable. I was settled in. It was an area where I got it out the mud. You know, I moved to Miami about over a decade ago. It's like 18, 19 years old. I had a game plan, but I didn't know how to execute it. So I came there. I ended up being homeless for like the first 3 years. Long story short, I got my break in social media about 6 years ago. And I kind of did everything I could possibly do in Florida besides like settle in, buy a house, and open up my own sanctuary, you know. And a time came where, you know, me and you were going back and forth. We even looked at a couple properties in Florida to do the WYLD Jungle down there. And one of my main goals driving down to South Beach, every time I'd see Jungle Island, I would say, I'm going to buy that place one day and I'm going to shut it down. I'm just going to live there. You know, that was
live with the animals.
Just live with the animals. And I wanted to start a cruise ship line across the street and just send aid to like Cuba and South America and any surrounding areas that needed help. But just imagine a giant cruise ship where there's nothing but employees on there, and you know,
animals,
you know,
there's monkeys jumping around.
You can rehab animals, medication, like hurricane disaster relief program, earthquake, you know, response, anything, man. So, you know, once my mind started rolling around in that area of Miami, and you said, you know what, I'm going to look in California for a property. So I went out and I kept traveling, doing my thing, and then I'm like midway through a trip, and you're like, bro, I got the keys.
Yeah,
I
literally got the keys.
I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? So you sent me this link, and I looked at a couple of photos, and I'm like, oh, looks kind of dope. But, you know, like, you're like, no, when you get off the plane, fly straight to California. Like, I don't care. I got the keys. And then I came here, and I seen this place, and I'm like.
Well, it was a winery, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
This is 26 acres, and almost 80 or 90% of it was covered in wine vines.
Yeah.
Within a few weeks, we took out all the wine vines so we could build an animal sanctuary. Now, animal sanctuaries are very expensive to upkeep. We don't have tourists here. We don't have tour guides here. This is a business. We're going to walk you through the concept of the WYLD Jungle. All right. First things first. We have like 155 animals here. We're actually doing the accounting right now because we think we just had like 4 more babies. So it's like 159. There's a lot of babies that are happening. It's summertime. God bless them. All the babies are having fun out here. All these animals are having fun. So feeding 159-ish animals is very expensive. You've got hay, pellets, seeds. Then we give them bonuses like carrots and sweet potatoes and collard greens. Just talk about like the concept of like how often do we feed, how much, like we don't really buy it by like the bag, we buy it by the ton, and like just walk us through the main idea of feeding lots of animals.
Yeah, people don't understand like how much it actually takes, how much medication, how many vet bills, how much, thank God we got free water, you know? So it's like food, you see that hay bill, that comes every twice a month.
It's $9,200 a week, just so people understand.
Week.
I'm going to walk you through our actual math of my whole life today. It's $9,200 a week in hay.
And hay.
And hay.
And hay. But again, we're feeding lots and lots and lots of animals the highest grade food.
Yes.
You know, the whole concept of the wild jungle is to give animals all the possible enrichment they would need in the jungle, all the nutrition they would need in the jungle. You're going out every other day to Ralph's and buying fresh sweet potatoes, fresh carrots, fresh collard greens.
Hand feeding them.
Hand feeding them yourself. You bought an industrial $3,000 food chopper where we're chopping fruit and carrots and everything so fast for the first couple of months.
My hands are as orange as your hat right now.
We were in there with a cheese grater the first couple of weeks, and then we had a grinding one, and then we went to chopping it with new knives, and we're like, bro, you know what? Let's just, you invested in a big, huge food processor. We're just like, meh, and it's just gone through.
So guys, this property, it was $6.6 million for 26 acres. We're in California. Listen, if we go to like a random city in the country, you could go get 400 acres, but it's mostly dirt, mountains, and not a good topography. We are right here in Temecula, California. Right down the street is grocery stores and freeways and the bank and everything that we need to run our real lives and our business lives and to be able to afford to pay for all this. We've then spent over $3 million in improvements in 10 months. We just moved here last August. So I want you guys to literally understand like the amount of money. We're approaching the $10 million mark to keep this place going. I guess I didn't even mention the fact that we're also spending 6 figures a month in like feeding animals and doing all the build outs. All right, guys. Wild Jungle, outside of what you see as far as the animals, the ATV course, the Operation Black Site, which we'll walk through in a bit, the things that are happening here, the wedding venue, etc. There's also the brand. Tarzann, I wanted to work with for years because I've paid him, right, hundreds of thousands of dollars to post products on social media for pet-related products and pet-related brands and men's apparel, etc. But now we can build Wild Jungle into an overarching brand for animals. Pet accessories, dog beds, dog leashes, pet food, a highest end of version of everything, toys, and also for humans, for kids, coloring books, animal crackers, and all these fun products we can make for kids, all under this Wild Jungle brand. Talk us through your thoughts on taking this place and making it like a content machine, you and Trevor making content all the time, and then turning that into an overarching brand.
You are what we call a serial investor. Almost like a serial killer, but, you know, in a good way. Just banging down
killing deals.
Bang, 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 bang. You know, the Tim Kennedy, the sniper rifle of hitting investments. So, you know, we talked briefly years ago on a whole branch of pet products, you know, kids lines, adult lines, different things. So when we first got into the whole, the structure of the Wild Jungle, we talked about bringing people in, the public, opening up, and then now you felt the bond with the animals.
You know what it was also? I just saw like little kids like trying to open up things where the snakes are. I'm like, that's a 16-foot snake. You don't want to.
You don't want to go.
You don't want to open that.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if I wasn't here? And so I started thinking about the fact like you've got camels and zebras and horses and zorses and everything between. There's risks. And so we'll still do some private events here. We'll have our friends here. You just had Russell Wilson and Sierra and all these amazing people here with their kids. Like we'll still do things kid related, but on those days we'll have extra security and extra staff to help manage the process. Anyways, and I hate to cut you off.
No, you're good.
That was the reason why I was like, you know what, let's just do some things for our friends to come over, but ultimately build this into a brand and a content machine.
I'm happy you adapted that mindset because one, it gives our animals another sense of peace and privacy. You know, a lot of these animals like Habibi and the goats, you've now looked at them as your kids. You know,
they are.
And you feel the sense of their privacy. You know, you feel the sense of building their homes. You know, and if we together can build this huge brand of bringing animals to a whole new sanctuary and actually letting them be peace, not have people stick cameras in their face or people coming up in lines every day. I mean, you see it sometimes. We do have a couple people here.
Stop on the street, yeah.
Yeah, and the animals, they don't like it, you know. So with bringing this brand to life, all these products, we're able to keep these animals private as possible, expand on their homes, and still make revenue to take care of them and take care of ourselves.
All right, so you guys are going to see the Wild Jungle be physical products really soon. There's also going to be some beverages for humans and for animals. We're going to explain that to you guys soon. We'll be doing more updates about that as in progress. These things are already being made. There's literally over $2 million. Again, we're being very open. There's over $2 million dedicated just to make samples of all the products for Wild Jungle related products, brands, etc. So you're going to see animal products, kid products, all coming out. The samples starting to arrive already. We got the merch already, etc. Coming out this summer. And then by the holiday season, you're going to see it in major chain stores, major stores, online, etc. All right. I also mentioned we have what's called Operation Black Site. Operation Black Site is a couple acres in that corner right over there. I say that if you're watching on YouTube because we are live. This RV motorhome is live on the ranch, right? We made an RV motorhome so we could show up to people's houses and offices to make it easier for celebrities and athletes. But we also record right here on the ranch. A lot of times those celebrities and athletes will come here to us. Operation Black Site, we started with Bedros Koulian. He owns what's called Fit Body Boot Camps. He has like 500 or 600 gyms of franchises for Fit Body Boot Camps. They're small format gyms. He's been crushing it with that. Throws live events, business events, etc. I went to Bedros. I said, hey, you've got something called The Project, right? 75 hours. It looks, not just looks tough, it is tough. Like half the people don't make it through it. Like they ring the bell and quit. And you're getting trained by Navy SEALs and it's bloody and messy, etc. It's very intense to find out if you can really handle it, right? I wanted to make a CEO and women's version that they could go through it and go through the hard parts of it and the tough parts of it without blood. That was my one ask. I said, hey guys, hey Navy SEALs, hey UFC fighters, don't make the girls, the CEOs, my friends, the business people, don't make them bleed. Let them go through the hard parts and feel like you're going to wrestle with Michael Chandler, right? You're going to get to learn how to shoot from Tim Kennedy and Ray Kashkar is going to yell at you and Steve Eckert's going to yell. You're going to have real Navy SEALs and UFC fighters messing with you, but you're not going to leave here bloody. That was my one ask. Now, that mastermind is annual. It's $20,000 for people to attend, but they get to come multiple times throughout the year to Black Site Ranch. So we have Wild Jungle, which is one side, and we have Black Site Ranch, which is the other side. That's our nickname for it, for what's called Operation Black Site. You guys can see that at operationblacksite.com. You can get to come here. It's 2 days at a time. We throw them on the weekends every quarter, and you get to experience real life, like the guy that's going to fight Conor McGregor, that's the guy you're going to fight with. The guy that's shot hundreds of people to help protect our country, and he's traveled around the planet for multiple military organizations, that guy's going to teach you how to shoot. You've gone through it.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through like
It's pretty intense to really think about, you know, I remember standing in front of Michael Chandler a couple weeks ago when he's demonstrating to the crew about like how to throw a punch and how to turn your fist and how to pivot your feet. You know, and you're looking at this guy like, dude, if you really wanted to punch me, there's nothing I could do about it.
Right.
You know, it's just scary, you know? And then going up the top and we're shooting these airsoft guns and we're doing like, you know, hostage patrol. We're grabbing our friends and we're running and we're shooting over our shoulder. And Tim Kennedy's yelling in your ear about how to, you know, aim it straight and keep your posture up.
Hold the gun like that. That's my gun.
Yeah.
I was like, it's burning in my head. He's like, that gun is my gun.
Yeah. But it's so cool to be around such different alphas in different realms. And, you know, and be able to learn from them because one, they're so sharp. You know, I'm really intricate in seeing what people say and hearing what people say and seeing what they do. And when Tim talks about different guns or how to position yourself or how to, you know, clear these rooms and how to have that mental stability in those hostage situations, those hostile situations, it's so sick to be able to like see how he paints that picture in your head, how to stay calm and stay cool and still execute. Same with Michael Chandler. You know, it's one thing to see this nice, you know, guy that's smiling, but dude, he just like, I walked in there a couple of weeks ago, he had his shirt off and I'm like, bro, that guy will destroy you, bro. You know, it's so cool, but he's so sweet, man. You know, so it's really cool to see the two different sides of the people, you know, hang out with Tim Kennedy, hang out with Michael Chandler, but then see them hit that switch and like be in full on kill mode, you know? So
in the upper area, there's also a wedding venue here that came from a group called Wife of the Party. Wife of the Party we worked with for many, many years. They threw my wedding half a decade ago, which you were there with alligators and everything at the wedding, which is amazing. Wife of the Party is helping us with production, with events. I've been throwing events for the last 10 years, really, and the last half a decade been throwing some big production ones. Let me walk you through them. The first one's called Elevator Nights. Elevator Nights is completely free. I've thrown that event 52 times for free. No tickets, no sponsors, no sales on stage. That event has around 200 to 1,000 guests, totally free, and they're only 4 hours, but I still bring in big name speakers. You're going to hear Tarzann, you're going to hear Jake Paul, Russell Simmons, like big name speakers still come there for free for me because they know I'm not charging anything. That's kind of like my Robin Hood event where I give back to the entrepreneur community. They can meet people. I then have Operation Black Site, which I mentioned to you is $20,000 for the year. So you guys can start to think about the huge jump. I went from a free event, jumped all the way to 20K. But wait, in between there, I also do online coaching. Online coaching is actually themoneymondays.com. Themoneymondays.com is every Monday at 4 p.m. It's $200 a month. And people can prepay for a big discount if they want to prepay for the year. Why do I do that? Well, if you notice on the Money Mondays, we haven't taken ads. We haven't done any commercials. We've been approached by some household name companies that want to pay for ads because we've been the #1 entrepreneur podcast for 102 days in a row. So a lot of brands have thrown money at us. Financially, maybe we should take it, right? 20 grand, 50 grand, 30 grand for an episode. When you're putting out an episode every Monday, that could add up. The goal for me was I want to do free entrepreneur training, and then the moneymondays.com could ultimately become something for us where we could keep this ad free or ad little, meaning maybe we take on a brand that's like powered by Shopify or powered by First Form or some brands that we like. Maybe then we would take on those. But ultimately, I don't want to be reading ads. Tarzann doesn't want to read an ad for 2 minutes about some mobile app or some random like subscription box. Not that it's a bad idea or that it's bad money or other podcasts shouldn't do it. Our goal ultimately is make these 40-minute episodes really easy for you to listen to. So we have the moneymondays.com. It's $200 a month. Every Monday at 4 p.m. PST, we are there live doing live Q&A. And we're like doing speeches and talks, but then for half of it, we're like doing live Q&A where you can get on and ask us real life business questions. It's very powerful. It's very useful. I've done them for years within my masterminds. My next mastermind is called the 100 Million Mastermind Experience. This is $100,000 per person. Let me repeat. It's $100,000 per person, and I've been sold out since 2019. Every year, people pay $100K to go to 3 weekends per year. This year coming up for 2024, I've increased it to 4 weekends per year by adding a special event. The special event is only 2 days, but we go take over a celebrity's house for a day and then their office for a day. So imagine going to like Arnold Schwarzenegger or A-Rod or Mark Wahlberg or Rick Ross. We'll go to their house for a day and then their office for a day with them and bring their celebrity friends over. Why do I charge, or how could I charge $100,000 per person? Let's walk through the real financials. Well, most masterminds can throw their weekends for $100K to $300K, and that's a nice mastermind. Some of them throw it for less than that. I spend $1 to $2 million per weekend to put on a big show, bring on big celebrities, big athletes, big surprises to make an experience. That's why it's called 100 Million Mastermind Experience. The experience part is how people learn and network and how they remember each other. If you noticed earlier when I said Tarzann, I said my wedding, the first thing I thought about is him holding an alligator, right? Because that's the visual I have for my own wedding. That was a long day and night with hundreds of interactions or maybe thousands of interactions in that day. And I still visually remember that. I can see which way he was facing, what he was wearing, etc. from that moment, because experiences cause memories. And so I wanted to make the most high-end exclusive mastermind on the planet, which we did. And we bring in Mark Wahlberg, Kris Jenner, Floyd Mayweather, Hulk Hogan, Tyga, performances by everyone you could imagine every night as a surprise. That's why it's always sold out. Everybody wants to be a part of it because of the relationships. More importantly than myself or the instructors, the 22 instructors that I have, those instructors do 100 million or more in sales or do 100 million or more in ads. More important than all of that, all the glitz and glamour, the celebrities, we rent out stadiums and ballparks and all this crazy stuff, is the other members. So more important than me is the other members in the room, because they know that all the other 100 members have done 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, $50 million in sales, and they can build lifelong relationships with them. So around 30 to 50% of our mastermind each year renews. So I don't get new members. It's people that are just sticking with me for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Some of them have been with me all 4 years since 2019. So Elevator Nights is free. Operation Blackside is $20K. In the middle there, the weekly coaching is the moneymondays.com, $200 a month. And then on my high end is $100K. Why do I have so many tiers of pricing? I'm walking you through it, not to pitch you or sell you, because most of these things are already full anyways. I want you guys to think for yourselves, how can you monetize your expertise? You might be really good at pickleball, and pickleball is super hot right now, hottest sport in the world. You might be able to do pickleball coaching or pickleball mastermind or pickleball meetups or pickleball XYZ. You might be able to teach pickleball on Zoom. You can make money from pickleball if you're really good at it by monetizing it. Teaching online, I charge $200 a month. I also do for $250 for 15-minute phone calls, like Zoom calls, on the hustleracademy.com. People can do 15-minute calls if they don't want to spend, if they want to do like one-on-one stuff. I have $100,000 for one-on-one coaching, but I donate 100% of that to charity. You see all the different ways I can monetize? It all started from free, right? And I'm always going to do the free one, which is called Elevator Nights. By providing value over the course of time, you can start to charge for different things, whether it's $200 a month, $100,000, or anything in between. Just keep in mind, your expertise is what can lead to revenue. If right now Tarzann's like, you know what, guys, I'm going to put out an online course. It's $500. And I'm going to teach you about how to deal with dogs or how to deal with cats or how to deal with snakes, especially since he's got so much snake content. And he's like, hey guys, I know you've been considering snakes. I've got a $500 course for snakes. He'd probably sell 1,200 of those this week. See, write that down. 1,200 times $500 is 60 grand. He'd literally probably sell 1,200 this week. And then he could run an affiliate model to sell more. What does that mean? An affiliate model is where other people will sell your snake course, right? On how to handle snakes or how to, more importantly, how to get over the fear of snakes. Not that many people have to actually handle snakes, but most of society, out of the 8 billion humans, are scared of snakes. So if you made something that's like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to get over the fear of snakes, and it's going to be $297 or $497, all right? $300 to $500, an affordable price. He would sell thousands of those recurring all the time for many, many years, and he only has to film it once. So if you're really good at something like pickleball or how to get over the fear of snakes, you can record something one time, and it could be a couple-hour course, and then sell that for many, many years. Half a decade ago, I created learnpersonalbranding.com. It's $500. I still see sales happen all the time. I haven't posted about it or talked about it in years. My book is from 2016, How to Set Up Your Personal Brand for Under $1,000. How to Set Up Your Business for Under $1,000. I barely ever post about them, and every month I see sales on Amazon. Every month I see sales directly from our distributor all the time. I'm walking you through all the real life things because think about it. I'm selling $20 books. I sell an Audible for $5, like the audio version of my books for $5. He could sell how to get over snake fear today. You guys can make these things if you just think about what you're really good at and get even better at it. So if you're good at pickleball, get great at it. You're good at chess, you're good at poker, get great at it. And you can monetize those things. Okay, so that's the monetized version. Now let's talk about some fun things. We also threw the world's largest pizza festival. So I did one 6 years ago and I did one last year. The first one I had Tyga, Wiz Khalifa, 2 Chainz, and all these different performers come there, and it was 1,000 entrepreneurs, or sorry, not 1,000 entrepreneurs, 900 models and 100 of my friends and entrepreneurs that were there to create this largest pizza festival for my birthday party. There's nothing monetized there at all. But personal brand-wise, it helped, right? I spent $600,000-ish on that party, but the amount of exposure we got was like 1 or 2 billion views because every TMZ, everything, like Tyga was there at the same time as Kylie and everybody was talking about, all these articles were happening because of that party. Last year I did it again. That one cost me $970,000. $30K short of $1 million. There's no investors. There's no sponsors. It's just my birthday party. So it sounds silly saying that out loud. However, 900 influencers and models there, 100 of my business friends. So all of these girls and influencers are posting about me and my birthday. And I've got Steve Aoki throwing me in a pool, which that goes super viral, and I'm still mad at him for it. And then Lil Wayne putting on a 17-song performance when he was supposed to do 3 songs. And so everyone's posting about Lil Wayne, Dan's birthday, Lil Wayne, Dan's birthday. So sometimes you guys could consider throwing live events can lead to personal branding. Everyone always wants to monetize every single event. What if you throw a real estate event or you throw a car meetup and get all your, not even your friends, people you don't even know to show up and bring Ferraris or Porsches or Lamborghinis, and you don't even own a Ferrari or Porsche or Lamborghini, but you invite 46 people to do that. What are they going to do? Post about you. You're a car meetup for Lamborghinis, Porsches, or Ferraris, and you don't even own one. You can throw these type of events that we're talking about, whether it's for food, for cars, for sports, for snakes and animals, a dog puppy meetup. You might have 30 people show up for a dog puppy meetup. Everyone's posting, and it's your dogs and puppy meetup. And all of a sudden, you gain 4,000 followers on a Sunday morning, and you like dogs and puppies, and it's fun anyways. It's cute. So I want you to think about everything from pizza festivals to masterminds to businesses to snakes. There are ways for you to monetize and build personal brand, and some of them take no money at all. You can throw local meetups like a dog meetup or a car meetup, cost you $0. Just meet up in a parking lot or meet up in a park. Okay, the last one on the event side is we threw what's called the world's largest toy drive. This is our 9th year. This will be our 10th year coming up this December. The world's largest toy drive we did together last year. We filled up a whole stadium with 165,000 toys covering the floor. And then we did it again in Salt Lake City the next day. Why did we do that? The toy drive leads to, I don't care about the personal brand of that. I care about people replicating us. People started doing their own toy drives at scale in dozens and dozens of cities that we know about, hopefully hundreds of cities that we don't even know about. Incorporating charity into your life, whether you're throwing a toy drive, throwing a Thanksgiving food drive, raising money for the homeless, raising money for cancer, leukemia, whatever passionate thing you care about or that's affected your family or friends, having a charity element to your life will change everything. It will change the culture with your staff, your friends, your family, your relationships, your neighbors, the strangers will look at you and feel like they interact with you in a whole different light simply because you are part of a charity event or you throw a charity event. All right, guys. That was the event side of things.
One more question about your events.
Sure.
You have an event coming up in September.
Oh my gosh.
You always talk about the $1 million mastermind and this and that, but I feel like this is your $1 billion. It's got to be your biggest event you've ever coming up, huh?
So we're literally filling up an arena. So there's a guy in Salt Lake City named The Muscle. Okay. The Muscle flew here in a helicopter all the way from Utah to our ranch in Temecula. And he was like, I throw these events that are like 800 or 900 people all the time. I got a really good group. I want to throw the biggest event that Salt Lake City has ever happened. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I'll speak at it or I'll come by. He's like, no, I want to throw it with you. This guy's really big. He's literally called The Muscle, right? That's an Instagram name. And so I was like, well, I'm already throwing events all the time. He's like, no, I want to fill up an arena. Okay. Well, right. I've been wanting to fill up an arena too, but I was waiting. Like I was going to do it next year, 2024. I was going to try to get like Andy Frisella and Ed Milet, like the two biggest business guys there is, and then combine them with some people and throw a big arena event. I had a whole business plan for it. I've been thinking about it for 2 years, but I just wasn't going to do it anytime soon, maybe next year. Then I thought about, there's a very famous friend of ours. He's got a humongous tour all over the planet, sells out arenas himself. I was like, hey, one day let's do an event together. And I made a whole business plan for him too, but I wasn't going to do it yet. And when The Muscle said, hey, let's pick a date and let's do it. And that's my favorite thing. Yeah. When someone says we're going to actually pick a date and do it, like a toy drive or a pizza festival or freaking the biggest event Utah's ever seen, I'm in. All right. So September 23rd, it's thelimitlessarena.com. Thelimitlessarena.com. We have Gary Vaynerchuk, Andy Frisella, Ed Milet, Eric Thomas, Russell Brunson, Tim Grover. I'm going to have to look at the flyer because we have 15 speakers combined into a one-day conference. But Andy Frisella and Ed Milet and Gary Vee in the same stage with Russell Brunson, these are zillionaires that don't need to speak anymore. They speak a couple times a year, if at all, because they just don't need to, right? Ed Milet speaks a lot because he's so passionate about speaking and he wants to help touch the world. But Andy Frisella spoke at 2 events this year because he doesn't need to. He's got a multi-billion-dollar company called First Form. Gary Vee is like rich, right? Like, I don't even. I Gary Vee. It's Gary Vee. You know, like whatever. You know, like it's a whole different planet. Like Russell Brunson, ClickFunnels is worth billions of dollars now. All of these guys are speaking, all of them, and we have some household name surprises. I can't say yet. We have one of the biggest names in the world that's coming to speak. I'm negotiating with a household name performer to come perform. Like, so people see this humongous list of names that are on this, and I'm actually going to look at the flyer to make sure I say some more of these names for the limitlessarena.com event, September 23rd, Salt Lake City. Definitely want to go to that. It's a one-day event. We will be raising money during that event for the world's largest toy drive. See how we tie it all in? Boom. We tie in our brands, we tie in our friends, we tie in entrepreneurs, we bring everybody together to throw big events and then tie it all together to do for charity. We also have a charity panel during that time with MD Motivator, who gets hundreds of millions of views doing charity work, at Charlie, who keeps helping hundreds of millions of people. Like, it's like we're doing business, we're bringing in celebrities, we're bringing in influencers, we're bringing in talent, we're bringing in surprises for a one-day mega conference. Thank you for reminding me about the limitlessarena.com, September 23rd.
Boom. I will be there.
Yes. Let me look at the flyer. You talk real quick. Hold on.
It's so cool to be able to see Dan do so many different things and work all day. You know, there's always this saying, people say like, you know, I don't want to work my 9 to 5 anymore. So, okay, well, quit your job and work 24/7. Right. And that's exactly what you do, man. I see you working 24. You text me 3 o'clock in the morning, right. 12 at night, 6 a.m. Ready. I'm like, bro, when did this guy go to sleep? I'm on the other side of the, like literally other side of the planet. He's like, bro, I'm doing this. He's like, my thumbs are bleeding because I talked 430. It's like, bro, my man's it's moving. And I love to see it, man. It's so motivating to see you go from different branch on your money tree, you know, and you're always harvesting your fruit. You're always watering your tree back and planting the seeds. And it's cool to see it all grow. From the Everbowl to the mastermind events to the energy sports card stores. I mean, you have an actual spider web full of real good businesses that are doing great.
So Everbowl. Let's walk through Everbowl.
Yes.
So
Usman was on like 2 days ago over
yeah.
there. So sick.
All right. So Everbowl is an acai bowl location. Acai bowls are from Brazil. And there's a gentleman named Jeff Fenster. Okay. Jeff Fenster is the founder of this brand. And I was introduced by Dave Meltzer. A lot of you guys know Dave Meltzer. He has a huge podcast on working with Entrepreneur Magazine. Dave Meltzer's like, hey, I've been raising this kid, Jeff Fenster, for like decades. He's one of like my nephew, basically. Like, you should talk to him. I meet Jeff Fenster. I'm so impressed. I ended up putting in $500,000 and getting some of my friends to put in $500K each also that were interesting big business guys. Some time goes by, and through our mastermind, we raised them another $5 million for Everbowl. Now they got some money, right? So they have like 17, 18, 19, 20 locations at a time. My friends and mastermind members put in $5 million to help grow the business. And then all of a sudden, the whole world shuts down. Restaurants are in a sad place, right? Can't go outside. The country is shut down. We don't know what's going to happen. This founder, Jeff Fenster, instead of sitting on the floor and crying about it, he's like, hey, I've got 90,000 frozen acai packs. Let's sell them online. And I was like, oh, you should meet Todd Abrams from Icon Meals, iconmeals.com. Me and my syndicate group, it's called Elevator Syndicate. You can look at elevatorsyndicate.com. We invested $3 million into Icon Meals, iconmeals.com. And like, hey, Todd Abrams from Icon Meals, you do frozen meals. Jeff Fenster, you've got 90,000 frozen acai packs. You should figure out with Todd how the heck to sell frozen acai packs. Todd is like, you know how you to do it? Go on QVC. Oh yeah, that sounds easy, buddy. What are you talking about? Todd's like, no, I'm going to introduce you to people at QVC. A few weeks later, I see Jeff Fenster on TV, on QVC, selling out $150,000 of acai in 11 minutes.
What a web, dog.
The whole world shut down. And a random group chat, which was supposed to be about just how do you ship out frozen acai with iconmeals.com, turns into Jeff Fenster, who ended up going on dozens of episodes, 150 grand an episode.
What?
But wait, there's more. While all the other restaurants are shutting down and scared and nervous, which they should be, we're like, hey, we're going to bet on America. America's going to come back. Let's go talk to all the landlords all over this country and sign leases. Jeff goes and signs 297 leases while everyone else is backing away. Why does he do that? Because he was negotiating 6 to 12 months of free rent, not just 6 to 12 months of free rent, but 6 to 12 months of free rent from the time of when the country reopens. He's also getting what's called TI, tenant improvements, 50K, 30K, 100K, and TI. So we're getting to build out some of these places for free or cheap, like a big discount because they're giving us TI, tenant improvements. They're giving us 6 to 12 months of free rent. And at the same time, we're signing up franchisees all over the country. Drew Brees comes in and invests a couple $1 million. He buys a ton of locations, the football superstar, and he helps with us, the direction of the company. So we're like, oh my God, Drew Brees is part of it. He comes in. Now, a bunch of other guys want to invest because, whoa, there's Drew Brees, right? And so just all of a sudden, you go from me and some of my friends bought a bunch of the locations and said, hey guys, here's a couple $1 million. We're going to buy these locations. You focus on franchising now. Don't run stores anymore. You become a franchise company. Fantastic. So they had $5 million, couple $1 million from us. Drew Brees invested a couple $1 million. Bada bing, bada boom. We raised like another $15 million last year. Holy smokes.
It's up.
In the midst of chaos, when all the other restaurants are backing down, Jeff Fenster, full steam ahead, is going to bet on the country. Now, fast forward 2 years, we have 68 locations that are open. One new location open every 6 days. And a war chest of capital because of we've now sold almost 400 franchises. And we're building restaurants for everyone else. We're building restaurants for Shaq, for Shaquille O'Neal. We're building restaurants. We're building brands for other household names. We're building small gyms. Like we're building for other people because Jeff Fenster got really good at just building and scaling. All this stemmed from chaos. This is the important part of this. When there is chaos, if you can stay calm, there are opportunities.
Yes.
It gets real quiet. While everyone else is screaming and yelling and shouting and freaking out and crying and jumping on the media, etc., if you stay calm and focused on your path, you can go from having 17, 18, 19 locations to 68 and selling 400 locations, having a war chest of capital.
Love it.
All right, we only have a few minutes left. We got to talk about Cards and Coffee. Cards and Coffee is our sports card store chain. Cards and Coffee was an idea by Gary Vaynerchuk. We had some group chats talking about sports cards. First group chat filled up. I think you can have like 36 people in an iPhone chat, filled up. Lewis Howes, Steve Aoki, all these fun characters, Logan Paul are on this group chat, sold out. Okay, let's do another group chat, full. Business guys, real estate guys, cannabis guys, full. Let's do a third group chat. This one will be focused on Pokemon, full. All right, let's make one on WhatsApp because these are getting full too fast, right? And so all of a sudden, Gary Vee and I have 4 group chats talking about sports cards and Pokemon. And one day, while the country shut down, the summer of 2020, he's like, I've always had this fun idea called Cards and Coffee, which is like the better version of all these. Most of these stores are, 30 years old, 40 years old. They don't have social media. They don't do video content. They don't have any cool factor, like modernizing essentially the sports card store experience. And I was like, oh, I'll do it, right? I've got Elevator Studio, which is my social media agency. But my CEO, Joey Carson, he runs Elevator Studio and Elevator Syndicate. So I got a household name CEO, 30 years in the TV game, running my business, my main business. I'm at home. I can't fly around, right? Like I'm home stuck. It's like, man, I'm bored at home. I'm trying to do as much as I can on social media, but I want to be out there. I want to get outside, right? So I was like, you know what? I'll open a sports card store. I don't even bring it up again. 7 weeks later, I sent a photo to the group chats of me in front of Cards and Coffee, open, at Dash Radio with DJ Ski on Hollywood Boulevard, while all of Hollywood Boulevard shut down it's boarded up.
You're open.
It's boarded up. We're in the middle of COVID and a race war combined. Riots are in the streets on Hollywood Boulevard. Like where?
Right? I've seen it.
We open up at 6363 Hollywood Boulevard, 2 blocks from the W Hotel, in the thick of it with everyone else boarded up. Why? Because I believe our country's going to fix it. We're going to get through this. We've gone through tough stuff before. Now, do I trust the politicians? Do I trust the media? Do I trust this and that? Not so much, but I trust the people. And that we're going to fight through it, and we're going to get through it. And eventually, they're going to have to get it right too. The politicians, the media, they're going to have to figure this stuff out too. They're going to have to fix themselves because now there's a lot of accountability. We're all watching, and we're all fast, right? There's new apps all the time. We got Threads app, which I can't wait to go look at as soon as this podcast is over. But by opening this store in the midst of the chaos, well, I self-financed it. So I put up $1.6 million worth of sports cards and inventory capital to open the store. I didn't want to raise any capital because it sounds crazy to open a retail store when the whole world shut down in October 2020. 8 weeks later, we had $1 million in sales. 8 months later, we had $10 million in sales, and we only had 2 stores, LA, Salt Lake City. So I was like, okay, this is not a hobby anymore. Like this is actually going
really happening.
There's a big sports agent, celebrity agent, does a bunch of big endorsement deals named Ryan Shidman. He was like, hey, I want to invest in your company. I was like, I don't really need the capital. We're doing $10 million in sales now. Like we got this. He's like, no, I know a lot of strategic investors I can bring in. Big sports people, celebrities, household name musicians, etc. I said, okay, well, if we're going to bring in a bunch of interesting people, let's go for it. So he helped us raise the round for Cards and Coffee. And we went from 2 stores to 9 stores like that. So now it's been 2.5 years. We've done $27 million in sales. We have 9 stores now. And we're the first one that's going to be a true national chain stores that's opening up sports card stores all over the country and maybe overseas also. We're also crazy enough to be 24 hours a day online. That's at The Coffee Breakers. So if you go on Instagram, it's at The Coffee Breakers. You can see all this. So sports card stores, acai bowl restaurants, live events, masterminds, social media agency, and the one that I keep saying for the last 2 months, you've heard me say this a bunch. WYLD Jungle will be the biggest brand I've ever done.
Boom.
Because it's the first time I can see a brand so clearly, and it's for pets and children combined. These are 2 of the biggest categories where we don't care what we spend our money on, right? People always say it's weddings and funerals, people don't care. No, pets and children, people will spend any amount. If a kid wants an ice cream and it's $4 and you make $4 an hour, you're getting the kid an ice cream. You know why I know? Because when I first moved here, my dad sold his watch so he could buy me milk and ice cream. Just because I was a little kid. I was a little baby, right? And you're going to spend whatever you have to. You don't have to sell the thing off your wrist for your child. If your child wants something, and what if your child wants a dog or a cat? Whew, That's double trouble, right? They're going to spend whatever they have to. And especially with Wild Jungle products, where you're talking about a clean cut brand with the real Tarzann, where people can see we've got 150 plus animals here and they can see real life video content. We're taking 8 of the animals and making them like our famous stars. And eventually there'll be 9, 10, 11 as we add a giraffe and a kangaroo once we get our permits for other animals. We're taking our core animals, making them famous. People are going to eat it up, right? That's why you get 84 million views on a video with an ostrich, right, on a Wednesday. People are going to eat it up. And so if you guys notice from what you heard today, as I walk through real life numbers, real life situations, real life behind the scenes, personal things that most people won't talk about, I want to walk you through how do we do it, why do we do it, the thought process behind it, so you guys can consider for yourself, what did you like? Oh, I liked when Dan talked about events. Oh, maybe I want to become an influencer and get paid $500 for a post or $1,000 for a post. I could actually teach people how to play guitar or chess or pickleball or how to get over their fear of snakes. You guys can make money by utilizing your skills. And the most important part is getting started, because we think about it and we won't do it. Or we think about it and we're like, we'll do it in 3 months, or we'll do it when we're ready. We're just get started.
Love it.
Like,
one thing I love about you, we talked about this a couple of days ago. We had drove by a farmer's market, like a little setup for the weekend. And we seen all these people bringing their cars and their tables and their tents. And you was like, man, you know, back in the day when I was like 10 years old, I used to be at these same farmers markets selling baseball cards, you know, and look at you now, you know, one of your biggest business, if not your biggest business, is cards and coffee. And you're doing the same thing you've done a long time ago, you know, and you're still adamant about it every single day. I think that's where we also connect with the Wild Jungle. You know, you've seen me on old photos of me with animals since I was a kid, you know, and every day we're at this, either filming vlogs or traveling the world or taking care of animals out here. We got that same energy, you know, to make our dreams come true.
That's how I describe you. I would tell people, I'm like, oh yeah, he'll go get 130 million views on a video and then go clean up poop for 2 hours. And then go right back and get another 80 million views on a different video. And then go, oh man, I got to go fix the water bowl for a freaking ostrich or a zebra.
Yep.
And not blink about it, right? Just like go with it and want to do it and do it because you love it and you have to. And so that's a rare situation. When you find entrepreneurs like that, when you find people in your life that are like that, keep them close. Those are rare people in your lives. And for a lot of you guys listening, you know who those people are. Those people that have passion behind them. So if you had an argument with them, fix it, have a real talk with them. There aren't that many people that are going to come and go in your life that are actually ride or die, right? Like this. Like if he tells me, hey, I got a situation in Dallas, Texas, I'll walk. I'm going to get there. If every car in every airport doesn't work, I'll walk. I'm going to get there. If I have to, I'll run, whatever. I can't run the whole time, but I'll run. The point is, when you find people that you know are ride or die, that you know that you've worked with in your life, that you know are willing to work with you at 2 a.m. to help a goat, or you know that they're willing to fix a plumbing situation at your local business that you guys own or that you're listening, those people you keep close. And a lot of times we don't have these hard discussions. You're not going to have a lot of those people that are willing to be ride or die. You don't have a lot of people that are going to get up at 2 a.m. and help you clean up the plumbing situation or help you fix the convention booth or help you deal with a goat in the middle of the night. You need to find those people and keep them close for you guys. All right. So we talked about acai bowls with Everbowl, sports cards, live events, the Wild Jungle, investments. What else do we have? We have like 2 minutes left. No, we don't. The reason our episodes are 40 minutes long, this might be off by a few minutes. The reason that they're 40 minutes long is because the average workout is 45 minutes and the average commute to work is 45 minutes. So we try to keep these episodes to 40 minutes. That way you guys have a little 5-minute cushion to get it in and out of your cars in between while you're listening to me and the real Tarzann. Today we were so hyped up because of the Threads app. Make sure you download the Threads app now. We're going to leave you with this. So many apps come and go, and I always talk about Facebook and Instagram can just crush them. They're either going to buy them or crush them because they have gazillions of dollars, not billions, gazillions of dollars. That's the actual number that Facebook and Instagram have to fight off anybody or suppress them if they ever get big. However, they are fighting against Twitter. Twitter's doing really well since Elon Musk took it over. Their numbers are through the roof. Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp. He also owns Threads. And so because of the fact, he's not going to try to shut it down. He owns it. He's going to try to make Threads as big as possible. So go on there and get your name. Even if you don't feel like using it or you're like, oh, I don't need another platform, go secure your name. It's called digital real estate. Own your screen name. Do this with your kids, your family, your businesses, and everybody in between. Make sure they have a Threads account so that you can know that the digital real estate is yours. It costs you nothing. Then go make sure you've got all your other platforms to build what's called omnipresence. Omnipresence is where you pop up on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, etc. That all the major platforms are free. They're free. They're free. They're free. They're free. And now Threads is free. So go get that. All right, guys.
Boom.
You've been listening to the Money Mondays. We only have one request. Have real life discussions with your friends, family, and followers about money. Help us keep this podcast the #1 entrepreneur podcast in the world, 102 days in a row and counting. So we need you guys' support there. Like, comment, review, share, etc. Take the time to have these discussions with your friends. Forward them the links to this podcast. And we will see you guys next Monday. The Real Tarzann and I, out. Over and out.